Hey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Christmas on Crestline. Get my computer a little bit out the way. There we go. How y'all doing today? I'm Charlie. In case you didn't know, and you happened to tune in and you thought you were watching, I don't know, something different. Hey, got the folks already coming in. We got Josh. And Josh, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to stop what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to go in here. I'm going to change what Josh's name looks like because I don't like that. So put that back up there. Let's go back up here and boom. How's everyone doing? Josh is in the house. And we have our newest Patreon subscriber, our newest Patreon family member. Harold is here. Ooh, we got Terry popping in. Hey there, guys. How's it going? So what is on the agenda for today? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to make an announcement of our newest addition to Christmas in July Extravaganza. Who's coming on? I'm going to make an announcement of that today. If you read the thumbnail, you might have a little bit of a clue, right? And the reason why I did that is because some folks can't tune in. And they're like, hey, what am I tuning in for? That's that. So going to make that announcement here in about 10 minutes, specifically who is coming on. Going to talk about that. Also going to talk about some transitions we're going to be going through over the next 60 to 90 days. There will not be a new review video today. There will be one next Tuesday, but not a live next week. So next week is just a review of a product. And for you Patreon subscribers, Patreon members like Harold, here about 5 o'clock today, you will have a video come out on our Patreon page about whether or not bulbs are shatterproof that I've been reviewing. So that is one reason we will not have a review tomorrow coming out, is because I had to pause what I was doing and due to some damage to some lights that may or may not be, they weren't shatterproof. And most of us, I think, don't we, when we hang lights, there's going to be concrete involved. You know I am very rough on my LED strings, and I lay them all out on the concrete. I've had a few videos about this before. About how I stretch out my lights. Concrete's involved, right? Oh, Stacy's in the house. Stacy freaking Parsons in the house. Another Patreon family member. Happy Monday indeed. Happy Monday. So we'll be talking about that a little bit, and that's a Patreon video that will be coming out today at about 5 o'clock. And also on, if you're kind of new to the channel, I talk about Patreon a lot during the summertime. Really because once September gets here, I'm outside all day hanging lights and stuff. And I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. I really need to make this a t-shirt. Maybe I should make that a t-shirt. I need to retire from my career in order to have time for my hobbies. My goodness, I'm time constrained all the time. And also let me know, I think I have the camera settings set correctly, but if you do see the camera bouncing around a lot, let me know. So some housekeeping for Christmas in July Extravaganza. Normally when we do the live, we'll have anywhere from 10 to 50 people tune in. During July, we'll have a lot more, but just throughout the year. And then we'll have, another 100 watch it throughout the course of the following week. So what I'm going to kind of do today is a little bit something different. I want to do a timestamp. I love timestamps. I love that YouTube came out with that about a year ago. So if you'll notice in most of my videos, I'm pretty good about doing it. If you hover over the timeline, there'll be timestamps. Chapters is what they're called, and you kind of jump around. So today I'm going to kind of just take a soft note of what I've been talking about so far throughout the video, and then I'll put a timestamp on that. Going to do, I don't know, we might go as long as an hour today. I'm not certain, but I do want to kind of keep track of that. So we are 4 minutes in, so we'll call it the 4:40 mark. So one thing I just released on Patreon today is new Christmas in July Extravaganza discount codes. If you're interested in that, you get an early jump on that. Every July, we do our extravaganza series, right? And this year is huge. And again, if you're coming to this late, we're going to make our announcement here at about the 12 to 15 minute mark today. But we do huge things in July, right? And we do giveaways every single Monday. We do a live giveaway. Well, if you're in the live chat, you can win, right? And sometimes I do. One year, I just did a randomizer. Last year, I did, hey, pick a number between 1 and 100. That was kind of fun. I like that. But this year, I'm kind of leaning back leaning towards going back to the randomizer. I know that Excel has a randomizer, which I've never used, but I hear good things about. But if you're a Patreon family member, you don't have to watch the lives. I mean, it's cool if you do. I love it when you guys come on. But if you're not there, you're still eligible for the giveaway. And I just get a hold of you later and say, hey, by the way, you won. Sorry, you were at work or whatever you're doing. Everyone else has to be in the live. So that's another benefit of being a Patreon family member. So in today's video on Patreon, shatterproofing, right? Talked about concrete for a minute. If you're going to, and this goes out in case Nova Stella's watching, on for you, Creative Displays, Novtech, which is a new company that I've reviewed product for, but I haven't released that yet. There's a lot of companies that have been reaching out to me lately. If you're going to send me stuff that's can be shattered when it gets hung, I'm going to mention that in the review. And one thing I love about all the people that send me products is I tell them in the first contact, hey, I'm going to give an honest review. Now, if somebody sends me a product and it's trash, I don't even release the video. In fact, I usually don't even talk about the company, because who am I to trash someone's hard work, trash their invention? I'm not going to do that. So if it's kind of borderline, I'll release the video. If I have nothing good to say, I don't. So, oh, Mr. Amato is here. Hey guys, Giatano Amato. Sorry, my son's best friend, or one of his best friends, is Sal Luciano. So every time he comes over, I have to say it like Sal Luciano. I love that name. He might have the best name I've ever heard of, and even my children's friends. But Mr. Amato, when you get time, take your iPhone out, do a little click of your trophy and send it to me. I'd love to get that picture out in the Christmas in July Extravaganza series. I'd love to have that, be able to go out there. But Mr. Amato, Tom to some, Giatano to others, did win last year's inaugural Christmas and Crestline's Fan Appreciation Award. But back to companies. If you're going to send me something and it's breakable, I'm going to make an extra video about that, because that sucks, especially for pet owners, right? You have glass breaking on concrete. Dogs, cats, whatever, they like to walk on that stuff. So it's just an added thing that gives me more outtakes. One thing I'll start doing, probably by October, when I start getting back into my how-tos, in addition to what we got coming out. I haven't even talked about the how-tos I'm doing in July. But one thing I'll be doing in addition is bloopers. And I'm going to start, actually, with next week's episode starts. You got my normal review, then you got the outro, which is our Patreon end screen, right? And then after that, I'm going to start doing a little bit, just a little funny bit or a blooper from that video or something different, just to kind of make it a little bit of fun, right? So, well, we are 8 minutes in, 8:40. I'll go ahead and make the announcement. I'm going to make the announcement. So, shout out to Rob. His handle is KTU or KUT Rob. Forget how his actual handle is, but Rob's his name. He commented on one of our lives 3 or 4 weeks ago that we did, and he came back after the live and put a comment down in the video like, hey, how about we get Light-O-Rama on for the Christmas in July Extravaganza? So I reached out to Light-O-Rama, and the vice president of Light-O-Rama will be making an appearance in the Christmas in July Extravaganza. She is coming on the show, and we'll be interviewing her and talking about all good things for Light-O-Rama. I wonder if I have a picture of her up available. Let's see real quick if I have a picture up for her, so you guys can see what she looks like. I'm not certain that I do, but let me check real quick. I know I have her bio on here somewhere. Let me check on my computer and see if I do. I mean, man, I don't know. So what I do need is interview questions. Yeah, well, I don't have a picture of her, but Audrey calls her name. But Aubrey is going to come on the show. And what kind of questions do you have for her? Let me know. I will be submitting those questions to her this week for an upcoming interview. She is not eligible for a live, and I forget why she couldn't do a live. But we'll be doing a recorded interview with her for the first time. We could have her back on for a live at a later time. But I need to know what questions you guys have for Ladorama, for the vice president of Ladorama, for Aubrey. I know why she didn't want to do a live. There is some new software that is coming out in beta form, and she did not want. She didn't want it. She was mindful to me that the conversation could get dominated on a live episode with, hey, what features are coming out in this new beta test? It's the S7, I believe, that they're coming out with beta. And then the Christmas Expo is just in a few weeks, about 6-7 weeks is the Christmas Expo. Is it in Tennessee? I think it's in Tennessee again this year. Tennessee or I think it's Tennessee. It's in Christmas Expo. But she just didn't want the conversation on Christmas on Crestline to be dominated with beta questions. She wants more about the inclusivity, if I can talk, of Ladorama and the Christmas light hobbyists. Denny's in the house. Hello, Denny. Terry has the S4 software. I want to say it's the S7. It could be 6, but I'm pretty sure it's the S7. In fact, I may have it up on me real quick. See if I do what they have. What do they have coming out in beta? I got it. Give me just 1 second, and I will tell you. Let's see. Audrey. Talk to Audrey. I talked to Dan Baldwin over there at Ladorama. Talked to him for a while. Let's see here. Oh, I saw the word beta. What does she have? I want to say it's the S7. I mean, it's either 6 or 7. Pretty sure 7. Anyway, I digress. She didn't want the conversation to be just about that one particular program. She wants it more inclusive. I'm like, cool. S6. Harold says the S6. Oh, Lights on Lights is here. Lights on Lights, guys, is starting a new, what I'm thinking about is starting a new chat room, chat forum, if you will. A new Facebook page for holiday decorators. And if you have the ability, Lights and Lights, I never know if you want me to actually say your name or not. I don't say anybody's name unless, I have a good dialogue with them. So anyway, put the link to your chat room, to your new chat forum in this chat so folks can have that. And then come back afterwards after this video already uploads this live. Normally lives upload. Sometimes it takes up to 24 hours for it to be seen on anyone's actual page. What's Terry saying? Terry says, my big fingers hit the wrong button. It's the S. He has the S5. S5. Harold does. So the S6 is coming out in beta. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you have Ladorama, what question do you want me to ask? I need questions. I can have my own questions, but you know what? I don't use their software. So for the company that I use, my first question to them would be, why did you go out of business and no longer can give me any of my hardware or software? So now I'm stuck with what I have forever without changing to something else. That'd be my number one question. So I don't even, I love the company that I have. I love their hardware. I really like their software, but they are no longer in business. So I am stuck with what I have. I'd have to transition everything over to one of them. But anyway, I digress. That's just me complaining. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to ask you what questions you want me to ask Aubrey. Like my dog right now. My dog's all like, I have questions. See? My dog's asking a question. See if I can see if he'll come over here real quick. Beta. He's like, what? Are you coming? Come here. Let's let the folks see you. If you're gonna interrupt the show, come here. Let me get it. Oh, which way we're going? Beta. Come here. This is why people don't work with animals. Beta, come here. Oh, you gonna say hi to people? Say hi to people. This is Beta. He's a Dachshundor. He's half lab and half Dotson. Barks all the time. There you go. Thank you for making an appearance. Let's see here. What is Harold saying? Harold says, I do, but it's about the new software. So yes, you should absolutely ask it. Absolutely ask it. Yes. She just didn't want them. She just didn't want 30 minutes of questions taken away from everything else. So yes, if you have a question, ask it and I will ask her. Absolutely. Boom! Look at you! Look at you! I appreciate that. So we will get that out in our Christmas July Extravaganza. Can't wait! Can't wait. Um, Terry asks, I have S4, but if I upgrade to S5, will it work for the sequences that I already have? What I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to screenshot that for you, Terry. Boom, screenshot that. And I will ask that precisely worded question to her in the review. So that's at the 1546 mark. I'm going to make a little note that Terry from Magnum Family Christmas, check out their YouTube channel as well, asked a question. Asked. And I screenshot that. Awesome. Says there's the link. So apparently you put the link in there. Very nice. Did Harold, yes. Okay. So does anyone else have a question? Or Harold, what is your question for Audrey? Take your time, folks. No rush. For instance, my questions. In fact, I may have them pulled up already on the screen because I was working on them earlier. Did I close it? I may have closed it. No, I didn't. Here they are. So, yes, what I want to know and what I'm always curious about is I know why I'm doing this YouTube show right now. It's because I like the hobby. I like the camaraderie of what you and I are doing right now. I like that inclusivity of Christmas light hobbyists. I love the fact that we all want to learn, like the great Christmas light fights coming on, right? They're coming on our show. One question I plan on asking her, the executive producer, that is I'm going to ask her, why do you do what you do? I know why I do it because I like the camaraderie. But we all have lines of people up outside our house looking at our shows. I don't care if you're old hat at this, like me and Stacy. Carl's not here, but Carl from Kiwi Christmas is here. Harold's old hat. Steve's not in here, but Steve's old hat. There's a lot of longtime decorators. What I'm going to ask Audrey is, why do you do what you do? What brought you into the Christmas light fold? So that's one thing I want to know about everybody I interview is, why do you do what you do? What's in it for you? Do you get joy out of it? You get what? What's that magic thing that sparks you? You can import. Didn't know if that said impart. You can impart. We'll make doing a preview any easier. Okay. Screenshot that. Boom. The new software. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Will this software make it any easier to preview? Good question. Good question. I'm telling you right now, I am Lightorama ignorant. Know nothing about it. I have famously said several times I never bought the software because I didn't like the name. For me, it was Beta versus VHS at the time. I bet on Beta. My dog's name is Beta. So yeah, I bet on Beta versus VHS, and Lightorama just took over everything. And Lightorama is one of the go-to people for Christmas light sequencing. The new software, make a new preview. Will it make doing a preview any easier? So what, Harold, right now, what I gather you're saying is in the software, there's no preview. Is that right? Because even in my software, which is 10 years old, I don't use Lightorama. I use a software called Prism. Even I have a preview. So I'm kind of curious why Lightorama never gave you a preview. What up, Angela? Angela from the Crazy Populator from over in England, across the pond, is making an appearance. Angela is also, she's a yarn tuber. She has a yarn tubing channel, and she is one of the Christmas in July fairies that takes part with me every year. We do a giant, if you don't know, I think I talked about this last time. We do, in addition to the extravaganza that I do, there's also a group of YouTubers that does a collaborative giveaway called the Christmas in July Fairies, and it is YouTubers from several different genres that give away a ton of stuff. So very happy that we'll be doing that again this year. It is time consuming. And I'm curious, Stacy, Harold, Giotano, Terry, answer me this. For me, when I do a show, every 60 seconds of song is about 10 hours of programming. Is that true for you and for Lightorama or whatever program you use? For me, yeah, 60 seconds. And one thing I don't like about the programs I use, and this is one thing I'll be getting into for as an episode for the Extravaganza series, is I can, the smallest amount of time I can go down to is a tenth of a second. I know there's some programs that you can go down to a hundredth of a second. So I don't like, for my chasing and my fades, I don't like, I maxed out at a tenth of a second. To make it do some really cool chasing, I wish it would do smaller amounts of time. Saw customer service. Somebody's talking about customer service. Just now, hoping for more shortcuts and less time to make. Okay. That's fair. It's time consuming. You love Lightorama's customer service. Screenshot that, and I will make sure that she knows that you got to appreciate a company that has great customer service, don't you? That's one thing I love about Ultilit. They make the LED keeper. John DeCosmo's customer service is second to none. And Angela from Creative Displays, not you, Angela, different Angela. Angela from Creative Displays, love their customer service. I call up, hey, Charlie, how's it going? Going pretty good. Hey, how your kids doing? Kids are doing pretty good. Call them out by name. Love that. Oh, off-grid whiskey and sunshine, off-grid whiskey and sunshine. Scott and Shelly. I'm going to guess this is probably Shelly saying, hi, I'm glad you caught me too. So off-grid whiskey and sunshine, the name's been flipped. It's screwed with my eyes. Homesteaders who are also members of the Christmas in July Fairies. That's getting ready just around the corner. So thanks for tuning in. And I'm curious to see what you're going to be giving away this year for the fairy contest or fairy giveaway. Stacy says we could program a 3-minute song in about 16 hours. Nice. See, so what I hear you saying, Stacy, is in addition to it, you getting yours up in your entire show up in 10 days versus 3 months, you could program a 16-hour song. No, I'm sorry, a 3-minute song in 16 hours. So it takes 14 hours less than I do. I'm telling you, kind of like we all say as parents, we want our children to do things bigger and better than us. I am not letting any of my children do string lights. They're all doing pixel lights. Should they decide to do that? See, Harold says the S5 makes the programming much faster, but the preview allows you to see your lights in real time. Yeah, mine does both. Well, cool. Angela says, wow, sounds like it takes as long as one of my extra jumpers do. Yes. I am crochet ignorant, but I'm friends with a ton of the yarn tubers in the YouTube community, and you guys do time-consuming things. Yes, if you guys are curious about check out Angela's channel. If you guys are curious about how to crochet, if you are, she's the gal for it. Yep, it's Shelly. Just keep you on your toes. I appreciate that about you. Shelly. And Shelly and Scott are off-gridders. In fact, yep, picture of them both as their thumbnail. If you're curious about recipes and chicken raising and a lot of snow plowing, off-grid life right there. Boom. Oh, Carl is there. Carl, I was just talking about you, Carl. Carl, Kiwi Christmas. He just started his YouTube channel. Check out him. And he's also one of our Patreon family members. Very cool. Gene says, that's like 1 minute and 5 hours. That's time consuming. Well, I said 1 minute takes about 10 hours, Gene. But if you can do yours in 5, what I hear you saying is you're volunteering to do all the programming. Yes. And I appreciate that about you, Gene. She's not going to do it. Jean's not going to do it. So let's see what we got here. We got Angela says, yes, crochet tutorials and other crazy content. And got puppy adventures. Squirrel. Yes, 5 point. If I'm in my living room and I say squirrel, I don't yell because he'll go out right and he tears through that door and goes right outside, right after the squirrel. And we just made a. I should have downloaded a picture of it. Anyway, we just made a planter out of a whiskey bottle for Scott Shelley, Whiskey and Sunshine, off grid. Nope, off grid Whiskey and Sunshine. Took a whiskey bottle, made it into a bird feeder. Looks like it's somebody's just pouring a glass of whiskey, so kind of neat. Nope, but I'm sure it doesn't take 10 hours for a minute. I'm not that dedicated. Well, she is a much, yeah, you are. She is a much better programmer. I enjoy Jean's light shows much better than I enjoy my own. Gitano says, much like my energy level, my light display is mostly stagnant. But I do come up with some of the out of the box ideas. Indeed, you do. Indeed, you do. Yeah, you do have a lot of stagnant, don't you? But you have an amazing display. If you've not seen Stacy's or Carl's or Giatano's light display, you can go back and watch our 2022 Christmas in July. Nope, not Christmas in July. Our Fan Appreciation Award. You can see a Giatano show that won first place. So what other questions? I got about 3 questions from you guys for Lightorama. So if you're thinking about when you're sitting down in your programming, does the cursor move fast enough for you? Are you able to import songs easy enough? Are you able to trim songs easy enough? Are there for me, I have fade, I have sparkle, I have dazzle, and that's kind of just the 3 and chasing. I don't like how my chase lines work. So on my program, and again, this is something that you'll see in the Extravaganza series because I'll tell you right now. I haven't told anybody. I'll tell you because it's topical. Normally, I like to save this stuff for just Patreon, but it's topical. So one thing I'm going to do is for one of my lives, is I'm going to sit down for an hour and I'm going to program a song live on the screen, and I'll just chat with folks as I'm sitting there programming a song. I'm not quite certain how that's going to work because, of course, in order to program a song, I'm going to have to hear the song. So ideally that works. It may not. I don't know. If it doesn't, then that'll be about 20 seconds of me trying, and then just the rest of my time talking. But I think it'll be of use for folks to see how we program. Now, obviously, I use a different program than you do, but I think that would be of value. So one thing I don't like my program is I can click one box at one time mark, come over here and click another box at one time mark, and it'll have a linear line that says you can chase at. And then it populates the board. Well, it's zigzag, and it doesn't work well at all. So one question I would have for Robert, the guy who made my boxes in my software program, is, hey, can we change this up, make it easier? Is there anything like that for you folks for Lightorama? Let's see here. Angela says we have a nest of squirrels in the loft. So a bat, dog 4 times a day. He's waiting at the window for visiting an ATM. Nice. I'm a big bat fan. I love bats. Love bats. I don't mind squirrels. Carl says programming lights. Yes. Learning about these now. Looking at pre-programmed scenes. I don't have time to program. Too busy. I get that about you. Making up to 500 sleigh sales already this year. If you are in the New Zealand area, and I don't know how far is New Zealand from England. I don't know, probably closer than the art to the U.S. because Angela's on board here. The Artie has sold 500 sleighs, and I had, you know what? Let me get you comment down. Let me go back over here, and I'll show you guys exactly what his look like because I do have it saved on my. Where's it at? I know I got your picture saved here somewhere. Let me find it. Surely I didn't erase it. It was on here earlier today. Well, that's stupid. Apparently, I already took it down from a StreamYard. Or maybe I'm just maxed on how many I can have. Oh, there it is. Found it. Boom. So that is Carl from Kiwi Christmas's Ranger set that he makes and sells on his Facebook page. Most of what Carl from Kiwi Christmas does is on Facebook. And so you can check out his Facebook page there. Carl, if you want to throw up your Facebook page in the chat, if you want to throw up a link in the chat, maybe folks can go there. Harold says for RGBs, questions for RGBs. Let me go back up here. Maybe I missed something. Oh, there it goes. Also, motion effects get better with the new software. Let me screenshot that. I would hope so. But that is a question much for Aubrey than it is for me. So, see here. Crazy Poppy Lady Angela says, "What song? Have one earphone in, but you will have no risk. You should run. You could run a comp play. Guess the song. Okay, good. The problem I have with that is my trusty microphone here. I'd have to put the microphone in here, and I think I can only hear myself talk. Maybe not. I don't know. But that's a guess the song. I don't hate that. In fact, I have a new song coming up for that we're changing. We do change a bunch of different changes. Got so many things planned for July. So many things. One thing is there's a new song going to be on Christmas in July. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you if it's an intro. I'm not going to tell you if an outro. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be, but we are making a programming change to the show in July. Josh says for Christmas in July Spectacular, you said something about coupons on Patreon. Yes, for our Patreon subscribers. This morning, I released our coupon code for our Teespring page. If you're curious, here is boom. So you can go to our Teespring page. And I released today. Every year I do a discount code just for our merch. We do a giveaway every Monday in July, and all of our Patreon family members are already entered in that giveaway. So sometimes, some lives, only Patreon members will get something because they are automatically entered. What I did last year's extravaganza is I did one Patreon only giveaway, and I did one regular person, one viewer giveaway, people who are live in the chat. This year, I'm going to change that up to where all Patreon members will be entered in every single giveaway. In addition to the folks who are in the live chat, just Patreon members don't have to be in the live chat. But yeah, I released that coupon code on the Patreon page today. So if you're a Patreon member, boom, you already got it. Let's see here. Stacy says, I would be curious to know how much Lightorama sales have grown over the past 6 to 7 years. I feel like the popularity of computerized light shows has exploded over the last several years. Boom. Great question. Oh, I populated my screen with news. Let's get that off there. Screenshot that. What you gonna do, Angela? What you gonna do? Yeah. So yeah, I like to tease stuff, and because I do so much stuff. In July, so much stuff. I'm just bogged down with stuff. We do so many changes and new stuff. Carl says new Teddy RC sleighs are bloody cool. Oh, Charlie, I have a new invention coming out soon. Yay! Yes. Carl does so many cool things. He has what's the name of the dang snowman? I'm drawing a blank on your snowman. I did this a couple episodes back, didn't I? No, I couldn't remember the name of the movie last time. I'm drawing a blank on the name of your snowman. I almost want to say it's Harold, but it's because I'm looking at Harold. That's a good question, Stacy. Yep, I agree with you. Harold is a good question. Olaf the snowman. Yeah, so Carl's got this invention where it's Olaf the snowman on an RC battery car thing and just goes around and talks to kids. It's freaking cool. Yep, there it is, Olaf. Oh, let me get that ticker off here right quick. Probably bugging you guys. There you go. So those are kind of the things I need to know from you folks to ask. Is there anything, so that's software, is there anything in the hardware you guys would like to see? One reason I did not go Lightorama 12 years ago is specifically cost per channel. I could get my 40 channel boxes I got were $500 for 40 channels. Per channel, that was cheaper at the time than per channel for Lightorama. So what is it? You guys wonder boxes? What for you folks who do use Lightorama, what is the largest channel box that you own? And would you like to see that increased? I would like to see a 50 channel standardized, but that's just me. The more the better, right? That's how I look at it. So for you folks who do have the channel boxes. What's your largest one? While we're here, one thing I want to try real quick is something new. I want to try a new overlay and see what it looks like real quick. Let's see what this looks like real quick. What do you guys think of that? I'm going to try some new overlays. And I'm not quite sold on the RGB. I thought it would be a neat little RGB theme. The problem is that to me looks more crisp and clear than the picture of me talking to you. So StreamYard, the max it can do is 1080p. It can't do 4K yet. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'll leave that up for a minute. 16 channels is the biggest box that you have. See, that's why I didn't go, because you need so many boxes. So I have 2 40 channel boxes. I would love to have 4 40 channel boxes. But plus you need power injection. Now, does a Latarama box, educate me here because I'm ignorant. Does a Latarama box, when you need power injection? Well, what are you guys using? Are you guys using 5-volt or 12-volt lights, first of all? And when you need power injection, does Latarama sell the power injection that you can, or do you have to go somewhere else? Do you build your own? What do you do there? Oh, it's the basic 16 channel. Okay, so 16 channel is the basic that they come with. Okay, very cool. And let's see here. So I'm always curious about that. One day I imagine I will change over, just simply because I won't be able to climb trees as aptly as my age advances, and I'll need to stay out of trees. I'll need to stay on the ground. I'll need less time-consuming things. Harold uses 12-volt. I've heard good things. When Jeannie and I went to not the Christmas Expo, the Trans World Christmas Light Show, and we interviewed the X-Lights guys. And if you haven't seen that video, go back to our should be on our playlist. I forget which play. Might be in the Christmas in July from last year, the Extravaganza. Anyway, we interviewed 2 interviews with X-Lights guys. If you're curious about those, check them out. I like interviewing engineers because they're not used to being in front of the camera. They can be kind of, boring. They can be kind of boring, engineers can from time to time. So I'm sitting there, I'm jumping up and down. I'm trying to get motivated, trying to get some energy out of them. But it was interesting to talk to the actual engineers. We had an opportunity last July to talk to the engineers, Oliver from Nova Stella. I like talking to engineers. I think it's interesting. Let's see here. Oh, Braden made it. Braden's one of our, in addition to Harold and Carl, are all new to the Patreon family members. And Harold, I filmed your shout out yesterday. That will come out next Tuesday, my friend. Next Tuesday, that video will come out. Terry says 16 channel controllers, and we run 22 controllers. Okay. Man, that's cool. 22 controllers. They just got to be a little bit of everywhere. Harold says the cell, the things you need for data and power injection. Oh, they do sell that. Okay. Very cool. One-stop shop then. Yeah, that's smart. I like that. Train guy made it. No, I know I turned my volume down on my dang phone. I apologize, guys. Dang it. Who does a live show and doesn't turn the volume off on their phone? Rookie mistake. I apologize. Apparently there's different volumes for different things. Train guys in the house. All right. You're not late. You arrived perfectly when you should have. There you go. Yeah, I got you. I know what you meant, Harold. I got you. Can you ask them about light tunnels? I can ask them about light tunnels. Let me screenshot that. So, for those that don't know, my wife's an engineer. That's why I was kind of engineers. My wife's not boring. My wife's the most exciting individual I've ever met. And I think that when God made her, he's like, good things are going to happen. So much excitement is going to come out of this person. So yeah, Jean's just a bundle full of energetic energy. Ask about light tunnels. I love light tunnels, and I kind of hinted around to. I did a video on Creative Displays light tunnel. They do a pre-programmed, legit drive-through light tunnel, and I want to say I may be way off here. I want to say it's $24,000. I think maybe it maybe cost 2,000. I don't know, but I want to say it's 24,000. And I kind of hinted, hey, if you want me to review that for you, Angela, I'd do that for you. Send it on over here. Send it on over. Heck yeah, I love light tunnels. Light tunnels are awesome. I think I'm not certain if I screenshot that yet or not, so go ahead and screenshot that. Well played, Carl. Well played, just like the trains. Now we have an intersection. I'm in Midwest. I'm in Wichita, Kansas. For those that don't know, and we have an intersection here in town where there used to be a law in Wichita that if a train was blocking the intersection longer than 20 minutes, if a cop wanted to, they could write the engineer a ticket. And I don't think it ever happened. I don't know if that ever happened or not, but the thing came down from the federal government says it's federal property. You're not doing anything. We'll block the intersection as long as we want. So they spent $25 million raising some train tracks, but there's one intersection where they didn't raise the train tracks, and you can be sitting there for like an hour sometimes. That was a point of contention in the newspaper article a while back. Have 8 and 2 RGB controllers. Yeah, Stacy's got a lot going on, doesn't she? Shh, Carl. Shh. More like the engineer should build, this guy, the roller coaster, right? Engineers build things, don't they? Thanks, Carl. Appreciate that. Thank you. Train guy. I missed last week's live. I was out waiting for a southbound coal train. I only got one train every 2 weeks, so I have to get them when they're through. I bet you do. Coal train. Now, what part of the country are you in, train guy? We do coal here. Well, they do coal obviously in Kentucky. Kentucky is famous for that, right? We do coal in Kansas. I'm certain other parts. We also do salt. Fun fact: there's a salt vein runs just, I guess, it'd be north of town that runs all the way through New Mexico. But the majority of salt made from sand for roads comes actually from here. Have a very cool museum there too. Hey, there he is. I was talking about you a little while ago. Good, you make it. Do you use Lightorama? I think you do. If you do, we are having Audrey Call. I don't know how she pronounces it. Coming on. She's the vice president of Lightorama. She's coming on for an interview, and there's a new beta test that they're coming out with actually here in about 2 weeks. It's right before the expo, so maybe 4 weeks. Anyway, they're coming out with a new beta test of that. What questions do you have for her, for Lightorama? Remember, I build what is most people's heads, including Charlie's. Thanks for that. You know what I've always wanted? I want a frosty machine. I want an ice cream machine right here in my kitchen. Can you do that for me? I've always wanted a soft serve ice cream machine. How long does it take to program a song with 22 controllers? That's a good question. Did Stacy answer? Stacy has not answered yet. Don't know yet. So train guy, you're out doing train things last week. What did we announce last week? Last week, I think we announced that the Great Christmas Light Fight is coming on. We're having the executive producer come on the show. She is across the pond right now. She is overseas filming on a different program actually, I don't know if that's for ABC or not. I don't know if she works exclusively for ABC or if she jumps around to different movies and shows. That might be something I could ask her. But she'll be coming on interview that we will be doing shortly. So far we've announced that Clippa is the Christmas Light Installers Professional Association. I believe I got that right. So if you want to be OSHA certified to actually hang lights and commercial grade lights and hang it as a business, one thing she talked about is she had one company that was reluctant to go through their training and reluctant to do seasonal. I believe it they did yard work, and they wanted to supplement their seasonal income, and they went from, I want to say they made like, I forget the exact number. It's either 1 million or 6 million in a season just by doing Christmas lights. So they're a huge company, obviously, so they had a lot of manpower, but they went from reluctant to we made more money doing Christmas lights than we did doing yard work. So, but they are coming on the show. We have a few other surprises that we have not announced yet, but we've announced Clippa, we've announced Great Christmas Light Fight, we've announced Lightorama, and Rob's not in the chat today, but Rob will sometimes watch these later. So Rob, again, shout out to KTRU Rob. I forget how exactly it is, but shout out to Rob for asking me to get Lightorama on, because they are. Well played, Carl. Well played. Train Guy says Cumberland Gap, Tennessee is where I am. Also, don't see them ever being able to give tickets to engineers for blocking traffic. Nope. Yep. I agree. I thought it was a weird article that. So I guarantee it was like some city council member that said, well, let's pass this law. And like, nope, can't do it. Oh, here we go. Harold says, Terry says, Harold, around 8 to 10 hours per minute of song. Okay, so you're right where we're at, Terry. Also have Cosmic Color Ribbons that is programmed separately. Okay, very cool. Here's my question to you, Lightorama folks. And someone on here, I mentioned Extreme Sequences last week. They're a YouTube channel and a business ran by a guy named Ron Howard, who does behind the scenes shows, but he's a professional light programmer. That's what he does for a living. Works a ton with X lights, mostly, I would say actually exclusively with X lights. But have any of you ever used any of his programs for your light show? That's one thing I'm curious about. If you've ever actually hired a professional programmer. Here's a side question. Does Lightorama sell programs? Is that something that they already do? If they do, well, first of all, if they don't, is that a question you would like for me to ask Aubrey, to start doing? If they already do, what would you like for me to ask her about that? So kind of a twofold question. What do you think? Lots of work. Oh, Christmas light's a lot to work. I wonder why none of us ever got into the less time-consuming habits. Well, you got Train Guy who likes trains. I guess that's time-consuming. You got Angela who crochets all day, time-consuming. You got Shelly on here from Off Grid Whiskey and Sunshine. Off Grid's a lot of work. None of us have easy hobbies, do we? Carl says, oh, I should say, Charlie, the old 4-meter tall Ferris wheel is out this year. Okay. Going with a 5-meter tall and using those lights you suggested, bigger and brighter. Hi, Gene. Well, looks like got two engineers talking to one another. Got Carl and Gene talking. Yes, so they do sell. I think you're saying yes, Harold. So they do sell pre-programmed lights, or are you saying yes to that you've purchased Ron Howard's and used Ron Howard's sequences? Man, so much goes into Christmas light hobby, doesn't it? So much does. I'm gonna take this banner down, this overlay down. And what did you guys think of this overlay? Is that, and this is what I mean by the overlay, is that neat? Is it silly? Is it stupid? What do you guys think of that? I'm curious, as I plan on using some of those for the Extravaganza series. So I think I got some good questions from you guys today. For Aubrey, I have a cousin named Audrey, so I always want to say Audrey instead of Aubrey. Nope, my cousin's name is Aubrey. Never mind. I don't know. Oh, Audrey Hepburn maybe is what I'm thinking. No, my cousin's name is actually Aubrey. Okay, never mind. Carl with the K is Mr. Kiwi Christmas. Carl with the K. My Christmas lights take all year. Don't think that. That's actually one reason why I started this channel, is to give myself motivation to work on my show year round. Now I don't. My show is originally the first year I actually started this channel 5 years ago, just threw a couple of sequences up just for family to watch around the country. Kind of like how the YouTube founder just did it just so his family could see him go into the zoo. Fun fact about the first video ever on YouTube. And then 4 years ago is when I started doing reviews and how-tos and things. So next year was what I consider to be our 5th year on YouTube. And next year's Christmas in July Extravaganza will go even bigger and better. Maybe have, well, I know who I want. I'll tell you who turned me down this year. It was my white whale, Peter Billingsley. Actually, he didn't turn me down so much as he just didn't respond to my contact. I emailed his agent. But Peter Billingsley, Ralphie from A Christmas Story, has done a lot since then behind the scenes, worked a lot with Adam Sandler, did a lot of other things, but he's doing Christmas Story. I think it's a reboot. Christmas Story Part 2, not a good movie. Just telling you right now, that took place on Thanksgiving. At least that's my memory of it. I haven't watched it in 15 to 20 years. But Peter Billingsley is coming out with a new Christmas Story where it's in the 70s and he brings his family back to the house. It's a whole thing, and I wanted to get him on the show this year, maybe next year. Maybe I can talk him into doing that next year. I like the overlay, just not flat. No, flashing was just me putting the button on and off. The flashing attacks my eyes. I turn into a zombie. That was just me clicking the button on and off just to draw your attention to what the overlay was of what I talked about. So yeah, does not flash normally, but you like it. Cool. What is engineer? I'm an ex-marketing manager. That's right, you are. And hobby is my full-time job, so it's never worked. That's right, I forgot about that. Hence your logo. We talked about name recognition and all that, didn't we? Train Guy says rail fanning is very time-consuming. You never know when one will come through. Sometimes you wait trackside for hours before you get one. Random thought, a Christmas train would be awesome. Here's my thought about a Christmas train. How I would do it, and I've thought about this before, how I would do it is not so much a legit train, because where am I going to get that much steel, right? But you take the old PVC barrels and you cut a hole in them. You put them on a wheelbarrow base, you tip them over, you attach them to a riding lawnmower, and you call it a train. I thought that would be neat just to take kids around a neighborhood to look at different houses, provided your climate allows. But a legit Christmas train, where it's an actual train on train tracks, would be awesome. Do like where would you go to see that many Christmas lights in one area? It'd have to be train side, right? Oh, kind of neat. Random. I like it. Harold says, sorry, I'm very slow at it all. No reason to be sorry. We're slow at a lot of things. Terry says, what's Terry saying? Yes, they sell sequences. They do. Awesome. Thanks for telling me. And I have purchased a few, but usually do my own. Here's my thought. And I would just do it. The only reason I would ever purchase is I think for about $500 on Ron Howard's Extreme Sequences, you could probably walk away with about 10 to 18 songs. He has some that are pretty cheap and affordable and reasonable, and some that are extravagant. I would do that just the first year, because to me it would be worth the $500 to not do 1,000 hours of programming. That's just me, just for that first year anyway, and kind of do a few myself and sprinkle them in there. By Christmas train, I mean take an actual freight train and deck it out with Christmas lights. That would be cool. For me, for that, I would use both. I got a new product that I just got. I haven't even done I did an unboxing for Patreon. I take that back. I have not put it up. I have not filmed it. I have not done anything with it yet. Just did the unboxing for Patreon. But one thing that could work for a train, because it's steel and it would work, is outdoor rated. They're IP65, so ingress protected 65. The 6 means they're power washing proof and up to 3 meters in waterproof. And the 5 is a solid rating. It means they're dust proof. And 5 is the highest you could go. Nope, actually 7 is. Anyway, but outdoor rated strip lights. So they got the adhesive on there, and the ones I have are RGB rainbow, so you can control each individual diode, each individual node. So I'm very excited about that. I have some stuff going on with the kids, and it's they get out of school this week, and then football practice for the kids start next week. Anyway, got a lot of family stuff going on, but my plan is to have those up on the house in the next month, and to release that during Christmas in July as a review episode. I like to stick with 15 episodes in 30 days. That might put me over that, so I might have to wait till August actually, because I got so much going on. I digress. I could talk Christmas lights all day. Now we're talking about putting them on a train and put a nice wreath up front, garland. I could talk about that all day. Each song is $50. Okay, so $600 for 12 songs, $500 for 10. Okay, I think some of Ron Howard's go up to 40 because he it's kind of unique. He does his own currency. What's it call them? Ron dollars or Ron bucks or something like that. You kind of you buy for $500, get you like 18 Ron coins or whatever. So some songs are 1 coin, others are 3 or 4. So but yeah, I don't have a problem with being $50 for a song if it's a good quality program song. Because for me, per hour, that's worth it. If it's going to take me 10 hours to program a song, $5 an hour. Yeah. Say it takes you 30 hours to program one song, which I've done before. Well worth the $50 an hour. Let's see here. I think the railroad should do that a couple nights before Christmas for the community. That'd be awesome. Make money and afford it. Yeah, I'm all for that. Harold says, but that's less lights you can buy that year. I haven't bought lights in a while, actually. I've got a outbuilding that is filled with all my props, and I've talked about this before. I've actually had people say, "Hey, can I buy them from you?" Just the shipping alone would not make somebody buying lights from me worth it to them. I don't know. Maybe I should sell them. I have tons and tons. I have totes and totes and totes and totes. 50-gallon totes full of new and box Christmas lights that I'll probably never use. What's Carol saying? Charlie, you asked. I have a design for a sleigh train that runs around a track and people can ride on it. And thanks, train guy. So you do have that design. Seems like you told me that before. Harold says, I'm missing my. Oh, Angela's talking to train guy. Would you be living by me? We would be regular visits from a reconditioned Flying Scotsman. Is that a boat? What's a Scotsman? Or Scotsman? Probably. Well, you're talking to a train guy, so I'm guessing a Scotsman is a style of train car. I would guess. Let's see. Carl says my neighbor works for Kiwi Rail, so I will be asking about it now. Take about 12 hours to do one up. And using what type of light, Carl? Using a RGBs, using LEDs, using what type of light? You think you could do an entire train car in 12 hours? I guess you probably could, couldn't you? Outline it, outline it with some of the strip lights, and then add some frill. Yeah, okay, I get that. I get 12 hours. The sequences you are able to modify for your sequences are right at 50 each. That's why I usually do my own. Very expensive for me. Oh, yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive. No doubt about it. But for me, just the per hour, if it's a 10-hour song, $5 an hour, I'd be tempted. Going to pro grade lights from Christmas designers. Okay. I have Christmas designers. Did I do it? It seems like I did an interview with them last year at the expo. I did a ton of interviews with folks at the expo. I think Christmas designers is one of the two we talked about because I can kind of remember programming the logo. Maybe not. We talked to a lot of people there, and half the interviews we did, we were not able to release. Actually, more than half because I was recording in slow motion the entire time, which is a setting on my Sony camera that I didn't mean to set it on. So yeah, that sucked. You're always buying lights. Says Harold, I'm done buying lights. I'm done. Now, if I ever switch to pixels, or I had a guy come by here 2 years ago that offered to buy my entire show. I had another buyer on the line because my plan was to switch to pixels 2 years ago, even though I didn't tell anybody that. But the guy kind of backed out. And if I ever get somebody who can buy all my lights, I'll probably go ahead and make the switch. Buy my show. I'll sell the lights, I'll sell the programming, the software, the hardware, I'll sell it all at once and then make a switch. We'll see. We have a Christmas train that goes by 2 nights a year, sometimes in December, on the California train tracks in San Mateo, California. Very cool. Very cool. So they do exist. They do exist. Both sorts and a moving prop. I love when you stop and think about stuff. Well, we all get ideas, don't we? I'm like, I could probably do that. I could see myself making that proper stuff. Oh, what? Who just did? Josh did? Look at you, Josh. We've never now Harold 2 weeks ago, or even last week. I forget if it was 2 weeks ago or last week. Immediately went on after a live and became a Patreon member. But you know what, Josh? You are our first ever person who became a Patreon family member during a live episode. Look at you go. Round of applause for Josh. Round of applause for Josh. Heck yeah. Good job. And those that don't know, at Patreon, it's just a way to support the show. It's patreon.com, and then you can type in Christmas on Crestline. And I believe Josh puts us at 24 members right now. I'm not certain how many we have. I think it's 24. You get a lot of perks. Now, obviously, you just became a member, Josh. So you have not probably gone and watched a bunch of back episodes that we have just on Patreon. But everything on Patreon is changing. We're making as many changes as we're making on our normal show. This year, we're also making changes on Patreon. So you'll see things that the way they look today will not look like that during July. So we're making a ton of changes. And to me, I think the biggest announcement we have not even made yet. And Patreon will get that first. We have something huge coming up. I don't know how it's going to work. It's brand new technology that I've never used before. So I'm educating myself on that first before I make an announcement. But good for you. Yep, exactly. Making history. Josh is out here making history. Yep, Harold, welcome to the fold. Welcome to the fold. So it's you, Carl, Stacy, Giatano, Harold. It's just a Patreon extravaganza right now. So yeah, we're dominated by Patreon members here, aren't we? Trend Guy says, I would become a Patreon member, but I can't figure out how to work PayPal. I don't know how to work a lot of stuff. I tried once before and I couldn't figure it out. I'm right there with you. It took me a while actually to figure out PayPal. And once I just attached that to a card and attached that to an email address, and I kind of left it alone, it worked out great. So we had a gal who used to be on here all the time chatting. I haven't seen her in probably 2 years. I forget her name, but she used to be a regular commenter. But she became a Patreon member for like 2 days, and then got angry at how I believe she got angry on how Patreon was working. She couldn't quite figure some things out she wanted to, and just kind of washed her hands of it and walked away. So I actually got a hold of Patreon after them, like, hey, I had somebody come on and this is what they don't like about your platform. And they actually immediately got a hold of me and said, hey, it's fixed. No big deal. I'm like, cool. Carl says, I use the slaves I sell to find a display. To fund the display interventions. So the more sales, the bigger the displays. We normally have one display secret. This year, 4 in 4 cities. I love my so-called job. And that is something that I've kind of taken to heart. Carl, another one of my friends I've talked about. So Gene and I do another YouTube channel where we review whiskey. And we started doing that because 2 good friends of mine I've known for 20 years are very successful and very huge, very famous, I would even say, in the whiskey community because of their YouTube show. They're huge on YouTube. And he just got hired on by the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society to be their YouTube face, to do all their social media for them. So I'm thinking, I need a light company. to do the same for me. So, you know what I'm going to do? I got a video coming out today about 5 o'clock ish, between 5 and 8 tonight on Patreon, scheduled for 5, but I may change that. Anyway, I'm going to do another video today that I'll have come out tomorrow about what I'm just talking about. There is a company, a light company. Again, we're making history here, folks. Nothing set in stone, just initial feelers, but there's a light company who I am in discussions with to become the face of their YouTube channel. So how awesome is that? It's preliminary, nothing set in stone. And I say face of, I have a company that's reached out to me to do for one of their brands. So it's one company, they have an umbrella company. They have different lighting companies underneath them. So it's kind of like you have a couple, was it Pepsi owns Taco Bell, Pepsi, and was it Pizza Hut? So it's a company, they own different light companies. One of their light companies, they already have a face for their YouTube channel. And they're in discussions with me to take over some things, not take over. I'm trying to choose my words, to do videos for them as an employee for them. Not quitting my day job, but I'm excited about that. So I'll do a quick Patreon video discussing exactly who that company is so you guys can know about it. But I don't want to announce it on regular YouTube. It may fall through, or they may hey, I haven't signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement yet. But that may be like, hey, that violates it. So I'll do that on Patreon. I digress. I'm going to stop talking about that now. Anyway, so I'm excited about that. So we're right at we're over the 1 hour mark. So let me know any last questions, any last thoughts here over the next 5 more minutes, and then we'll call it a day. I don't have a face for TV, but thank you for saying so. Me have a face for radio. Funny, my nickname is Pepsi. Look at that. Look at that. So one thing about YouTube, and I need to get you in front of camera doing your prop builds on Kiwi Christmas. Because then I don't care if you're the Hunchback of Notre Dame or I don't care, whatever. We need to see you in front of camera. Now, the sole exception, I've said this before, I don't want to see Don Howard. I don't want to see Ron Howard on extreme sequences in front of camera because I'm so intrigued by his voice. I like that he does behind the camera scenes. So brilliant. I will keep everything crossed for you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very excited about the opportunity. I've said many times, my goal is when I can retire from my day job, to be able to retire and do YouTube or reviews or Christmas light for a living. I'm not trying to be one of these teenagers who have the million of views, because for me that there's a disconnect there. I like exactly what you and I are doing right now. I like sitting down, like chatting about a hobby that we're all interested in, be it yard tubing, be it off gridding, be it Christmas lighting. I like it. I know we are working on it. Have a great day. You too. Steve, any new gear coming out of the show? Oh, yes. And that is exactly what my Patreon. I think you were here. Yeah, you were here for that. So the discount code I gave today to the patrons, I'll have that out to the masses for July. But yes, new shirts. Now the hats, I've always done myself through who do I do my hats through? Oh, not US logo. Anyway, a logo company. But Teespring, who does all my shirts and all my drinkware and my mugs and stuff, now does hats. But it's so difficult to do them. It's going to take me probably a month to get hats on there. But yes, new shirt designs, new hat designs coming out for Christmas in July Extravaganza. And the discount code will get folks all that. Need more else? And remind everybody what else stands for. It's an acronym. I forget what it stands for. Now I'm looking silly. Is on YouTube and Facebook for Light Sequence. Yes, he's on YouTube for Light Sequences, Extreme Sequences. You can go in there and you can buy all the sequences. Everything. That's what he does for a living. And I talked to him before. Talked to him last year, and he actually goes to the extreme of getting you can do a color picker. So you can take like when I do my thumbnails and stuff, sometimes I want to match a color to a company's logo. So I'll hover over the logo, capture that color, and make a word that color, maybe a certain color of blue, a certain shade. So he will actually go to the extreme of he did a Halloween song last year. I forget what it was. A very famous heavy metal song. But I forget what it was. Anyway, he went to the video, the music video, and captured colors from the music video and incorporated that into his sequencing of that Halloween song. So that's the minutia that he goes to for that. Yes, Carl, Ron is awesome. Ron is very good. Thank you. Might need his help this year. Yeah, he's there. He's there for that's what he does for a living. Good for him. Good for him. Wife's going out to go pick up children from schools. So I'm going to leave that with you folks. I'm going to thank you very much. First of all, Josh, newest Patreon member. How awesome is that? Making history here today. Making history. But thank you for the questions. Also, if you're a Patreon folk, remember you can also comment on that on the Patreon side. Message me. You can email me, christmasoncrestline@gmail.com. Any questions you have between now and I will be interviewing her in the next 2 weeks. So make sure you get those to me and we'll go from there. Yeah, exactly. Go Josh. Go Josh. Go Josh. I don't know. But that's about it for me today, guys. Let me get all my stuff. I need to get queued up here, to end the video, and I will do just that. And so next week, Harold, you will see your name on this outro I'm getting ready to do. And Josh, you will soon see your name on there as well. That's about it for me today, guys. I'm Charlie, and I'll see you in the next video. It didn't go. No, that's supposed to be all time consumed and stuff. Show, hide. It's not even doing. You got it. Oh, that's background. I'm doing it wrong. Let's try that one more time. I'm Charlie. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.